All right, well, welcome back to my channel, debtfree.cf, and that stands for child free. So this budget is my November 2017 budget, which is going over a single person who's in a relationship, lives with the roommate partner, and has pets, just to give you an idea of how this is being budgeted and where the numbers are coming from. I've made a couple of adjustments from some requests since the last budget where the words are a little bit bigger. Here I've kind of just decorated a little bit for November, and then there's a little bit of information on the right side that has been updated. So, for example, adding some of the interest. I'm not going to focus on that too much, mostly just on the left-hand side where I've got my estimated monthly amount and my actual monthly amount. So let's go ahead and get started. My work income is regular at a minimum and then fluctuates a little bit above the minimum based off of commissions, essentially. So I'm estimating for this particular month that it's probably going to be around $2,300. I got paid right at the end of October, and since I didn't need any of the prorated amount from that October check to go to my October budget, I've put the entire October check to start off my month of November. And I work a month ahead anyway because of all of the savings that I have. So even if I didn't get a paycheck with my emergency fund, I can just live off of that. But this is just to get started, and then when I get my second amount in November, I'll add that to the actual column. I probably don't actually need $150 worth of groceries this year or this month because I'm going to be traveling quite a bit, so there'll be months or days out of the month where I will not be eating at home, and some of the trips are where I'm going to be spending some time with my mom, and usually when I do that, my mom pays the bills even though I offered to pay my own part. So this may actually end up being a little bit less, but I'm just going to leave it at $150 each month unless I know I'm going to be traveling where I'm going to have to pay, and then it might increase because sometimes eating out is a little bit more expensive. Got some of the bills emailed in terms of what the electric, gas, internet is that I'll be responsible for. So since my roommate and I split the utilities, I always put in the estimated column where I have a little bit more income estimated. I put what the utilities are for the entire unit and then split what the utilities are, and then I use this as part of my formula calculation for how much rent my roommate owes me since I cut the check to the landlord. So I've got $32.08 for the combination of the three: gas, electric, gas, and internet, which I just kind of mark with letters so that I know what order if I look at the actual number. Okay, then I've got a couple trips, so I'm going to have to gas up the car. I estimate that'll be about $50, but it may turn out that I don't actually pay that out of pocket because I sometimes have gas cards and those need to be used up, so that won't be cash out of the bank. So then in the next column, I have rent, and on the left side I put what I'm responsible for compared to on the right side what the entire amount of rent is for the 2-bedroom that we have. We used to have a roommate, like a third person, because the 1-bedroom is shared between myself and my partner, and that didn't work out very well. So we kind of have a little bit of extra space, but the deal is actually really good for the LA area that I live in, and we don't have to worry too much about that. That is a high percentage. It's a higher percentage right now for me out of my income, the $900 out of the $2,300, because it's like 46% or something like that, but it's going to get adjusted next month. We had a budget meeting discussion as I was filling in these numbers for this month and decided to make that adjustment for the next couple of months, either until pay goes up or I switch jobs or something like that. I don't have to pay medical because I'm covered under my partner's plan since we've lived together for so many years, and that company is just really lenient about the description of domestic partner. So we split a family plan on our cell phones. My partner's mom is on it, and then so there's 3 lines, and it's unlimited everything, whatever. T-Mobile, if anybody's interested. And then for pet, this is the estimate of what's going to be absolutely necessary with licensing, boarding, and vaccinations for all 3 animals. I have a small dog and 2 cats. And then this number over here is including the food order because I don't order food and litter every single month. I use Chewy, which does a scheduled delivery, and I can change the schedule as necessary if I'm going to be out of town or they run out of something before the planned amount of time. So that's the adjusted amount. And I've got a little note over here with the calculation of where the $497 came from. I think that I may be able to find vaccinations a little bit cheaper. I haven't looked since last year, and last year I didn't find anything drastically different, so I just stuck with the traveling Vetco, which is held at the Petco store. But I'm going to look again anyway, just to make sure that I'm getting the best deal. Car insurance is allocated and saved up for my mom because she pays that. We're on a family plan, and it breaks down to $32.50 a month. Then in the known miscellaneous or different things with like gifts and school fees, mostly this is a plane flight that's coming up in December. Knowing that I have a couple of gifts that I need to purchase, like for a friend of mine to have some dates with her husband since they have some young kids, just kind of a time to get out of the house. And then a buffer for a couple of concert tickets or whatever might come up throughout the month. And I don't have any credit cards that are payment stuff. I mean, I have a credit card through Amazon or whatever that I've had for a couple of years since I order a lot of things on Amazon, cashback, whatever. I just pay off everything, usually even twice a month, but at the end of the month because it's already been put into my budget and allocated. So, for example, if I purchase one of the gifts for my friend, then that will get put into the category. And so when I pay the credit card, it's like it's already been deducted from the bank anyway based on my calculations. My goal for retirement for this month is going to be something in the 800 range or 600 range, somewhere in there to max out my Roth IRA. And so in total, I've got my calculations where it looks like I'm going to be negative, but remember, I've only gotten half the paycheck. So, and then down here, I do kind of a calculation of absolute requirements. So the basic needs of food, utilities, gas, and cell phone part. So, just because I don't have a landline and emergency phone number, being able to make calls and so forth, I put that in the absolute category. It could be cheaper, but I'm not that tight with money. And then my car insurance because of needing to have the option to be able to drive the car rather than driving with no insurance. And then I just kind of have some notes in the bottom just to remind me throughout the month what I'm working on. Off to the right side, like I said, there's some places where I've added what the interest was on certain accounts. Some of these are different calculations based off of, for example, I've got my 4 to 6 month emergency fund minimum. Really, I'm shooting for 8. That's 8,700. It's full, so I don't have anywhere else to go for that. And then on this particular thing, if I'm over on my sinking funds, so my sinking funds plus my emergency fund should be something around 10,000, and then anything over that is going towards some kind of like, I don't know, house down payment, which I'm not super concerned about getting there really fast. The market in California is extreme, so I don't even know if I'd be staying in the state, and it's definitely not happening in the next year or two. So that is the start of my November budget, and hopefully you'll come back and join me for my November check-in. Otherwise, I've got a couple of videos of how I laid this out with the formatting that you're welcome to check out. I will also be creating one for how to set up something similar in Excel in case you don't have Google spreadsheets, and you can check that out in probably a few weeks. All right, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want more. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time on Debt Free CF.